All right, systems check. We got excellent connection going live. Once again, doing yet another live stream. Hope you guys are feeling safe and healthy this Wednesday afternoon. I hope it's working. Seeing a little bit of strangeness. Is this going all right? Well, it looks like the live stream is going. Got no thumbnail on the icon on my channel, but I guess that's not really required. Maybe? Is anybody there? Oh my goodness. Come on, YouTube. Come on. Alright, YouTube is being a little bit strange on me right now. I did make sure I'm streaming. I got it uploaded and everything. Okay. Alright. Well, I guess we've got a video connection and everything streaming and ready to go. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. So if anything strange does start to happen, folks, just let me know. We'll figure it out. So these giant things, I think the best way to open these is just upside down, because otherwise that thing's probably going to spill everywhere. Let's just mute this tab. I'm hearing myself echoing, which is strange, so I hope the audio is doing all right for everybody else. Yeah, so once again, we're all trapped inside. While we're all trapped inside, I wanted to take a couple of minutes today to hang out with folks. If anybody did want to hang out, chat, ask some questions, talk with me, just the usual, shooting the breeze, nothing super serious going on. These are just some store-bought cookies. Nothing too special about them, other than the fact that it's got a freaking boatload of them. I have some homemade cookies also cooling on the rack right now, so maybe I'll dig into those in a couple of minutes once they get cooled down enough to eat. Yeah. Fresh baked cookies are so good, but if you try to eat them like right out of the oven, of course they're just kind of like goop, so it's no good. So I'm sorry, I'm kind of prattling on right now. Good afternoon, everybody. How's it going? I hope you're doing great. I hope you're staying inside, staying healthy, but of course connecting with all your friends. Got a couple of folks in the chat already. Fabian says, let's go, cookies. Yeah, got some cookies, a bunch of cookies. And then we have somebody whose name I don't think I'm going to even try to, I don't think I'm going to be able to pronounce that. Aristodesis? How much running do you do that you stay thin? Honestly, I think running isn't like the best way to maintain weight and lose weight and everything. Doing excessive cardio isn't like the greatest way to do it. Like, of course it helps you stay fit and healthy, but like having a good diet is definitely gonna help you out a whole lot more. Trying to exercise yourself out of a bad diet, of course, I do stuff like this, but only intermittently, of course. Otherwise, I would be pretty much dead by now. So yeah, if you want to lose weight and stay thin, diet is absolutely necessary. Working out and staying fit on the side is definitely a bonus, but not nearly as important as a decent diet. And I do recognize the irony of saying that with a giant bowl of cookies in front of me. Cookies, always best accompanied by milk. Excellent, excellent, super good. AJAT, thanks for coming to the thanks for coming to the live stream. If I can talk, so you missed the first 2 minutes, and those are the official M&M cookies or Shop and Shop. Store brand, yeah, it is store brand. Nothing super fancy about these. I just noticed that they were giant cookies for not a ton of money, so I figured I'd buy them and check them out. They're not nearly as bad as I was thinking they would be. You know, most store-bought like bakery goods are not super good. I've actually noticed that the Kroger brand bakery items are pretty decent though. So, you know, they're not bad at all. I would certainly go out of my way to have one or two of these cookies. Absolutely delicious. So yesterday, somebody asked me about running marathons and whether it's, you know, healthy or unhealthy. I can't remember exactly who it was, but it got me thinking. Like, marathons are kind of a strange thing. I know a lot of people make fun of running marathons because they're notoriously, they're notorious for the origin of a marathon being the famous run that Phidippides did, after which he died. And for folks that don't know the story, kind of like the commonly known tale is that this guy Phidippides was at the Battle of Marathon, where the Athenians were repelling the Persians who were invading, and the Athenians thought that they were going to get routed, but they were able to repel the invasion, and Phidippides ran from Marathon to Athens to declare victory, and it was about 25 miles, that run, and he just immediately died, like in the town square. Now, the funny thing is, a lot of people point to that as a great reason not to run a marathon, without realizing that that's like not even nearly the first bit of the story of Phidippides and his, famous run. So I thought it would be cool to talk about, Phidippides and his entire story of that, his marathon run from Marathon to Athens. So, like, it started a couple of days before his famous run when the Athenians knew the Persians were going to be invading. And, if you're in the ancient Greek world and you've got an army that's going to invade you, like, who do you go for help? And for anybody who's seen the movie 300, you know exactly who to go to. Yeah, that's right. You go to the Spartans. So, Phidippides was a part of the military caste. I believe it was his occupation was known as a hierodromos or something like that. It's like an ancient Greek word, basically meant all-day runner. So like running long distances and being a messenger was basically what he did. So they dispatched Phidippides to run from Athens to Sparta to see if the Spartans would help them in repelling the Persian armies. And for folks that aren't familiar with the geography of that area, Sparta is like 150 miles away from Athens, and Phidippides made this run. Apparently, the texts say that he left Athens at the sunrise of one day and arrived at Sparta at sunset of the following day. So about 36 hours, he covered 150 miles by foot. Which is just mind-boggling, right? It's like 6 marathons back to back to back to back. And the Spartans, he spoke with the Spartans. The Spartans agreed to help out the Athenians in repelling the Persians, but they were very religious people, so they were only going to march out to the Battle of Marathon, or the cliffs of Marathon at the time. I think it was at the full moon. Might have been either a full moon or a new moon. So Phidippides had to run from Sparta to Marathon to let his military commanders know. So the next day, like, he gets up, he runs another 150 miles from Sparta to Marathon to tell everybody that the Spartans were coming, but they would be a little bit late. And, of course, Pheidippides, he's part of the military caste. So there's a good chance that he just, like, somebody just, like, handed him a sword and sent him to the front lines. So everybody who talks about marathons as being this thing that's famous for people dying, like, you're not going to die if you run 26.2 miles. It just doesn't happen without pre-existing condition, such as having run 300 miles in the last couple of days. So yeah, running marathon, definitely a difficult thing, but not nearly as difficult as running a marathon after running 300 miles in a couple of days beforehand. So I always thought that was kind of a funny story. And, I mean, kind of extrapolating from that, the fact that a marathon is exactly 26.2 miles, it's a strange distance. It's kind of a weird thing. But it is like a really giant challenge that a lot of people like to take up and use as a motivating factor to help them get fit and get healthy and stuff like that. So I like marathons for that reason. There's a great movie, I think it was called Brittany Runs a Marathon or something like that. It's kind of a feel-good movie that came out maybe 6 or 8 months ago on one of the streaming platforms, either Netflix or Amazon Prime or something like that. And it's kind of a cool movie, and I think it captures the reason that people run marathons pretty well. Like, it's not the actual running of the marathon so much it is the months and months of preparation beforehand that really matter. These cookies are so excellent. I've been neglecting these comments. Nathaniel Cooper, thanks for dropping in the stream, dude. What is my favorite cookie? Ooh, that's a good question. I think my favorite cookie might be peanut butter cookie or maybe a snickerdoodle cookie. Both those are pretty dang good. Fabian asks, hey, so what kind of exercise do you do in a quarantine? I mean, I go running just about every day, and I got plenty of cardio exercise and body weight exercises. It's nothing like super spectacular, just stuff to stay fit, stay healthy. I know this isn't exactly the best time to get jacked. I think the big thing is that, like, right now, getting fit to run a marathon or do an Ironman triathlon is not something that you should be worrying about. And it's more of just like trying to relax and do the things that I enjoy. I do a decent amount of running still. But it's, for the most part, it's not super focused. It's just going out to do, 6 or 8 miles at a time. Moderate pace, nothing super hard right now. Basically because super hard exercise suppresses the immune system. I shouldn't say it suppresses the immune system, but it focuses the immune system on recovering from exercise stress instead of fighting off disease. So now's a great time to let your immune system, work 100% on preventing disease and stuff like that. So the exercise that I do is not nearly as hard, not nearly as hardcore as it would be if I was training for a race or anything. JG, are you ever afraid that you'll get diabetes? First of all, welcome to the stream. I haven't seen you around before. Welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoy it. And you also say, lol. Am I afraid that I'm going to get diabetes? No, I'm not afraid I'm going to get diabetes. I mean, I take pretty good care of myself, so get blood work to make sure that my blood sugar, my hemoglobin A1C, isn't too far out of bounds, and yeah, I'm pretty knowledgeable about that stuff. My father was a doctor of endocrinology, so I got the rundown of exactly how diabetes works. And I feel like there's some misconceptions out there. Like, aside from these giant challenges that I do, and I'm only eating like giant amounts of sugar once a day, some days, so it's not gonna, yeah, like, I'm not super worried about it. like some of the really big risk factors of getting diabetes is, of course, obesity. Like a lot of people think that adipose tissue is just kind of like layers of fluff on top of you, but don't realize that, um, it's an active tissue that, um, oh my goodness, why can't I think of the name? It's an active organ, basically because it regulates some of your hormones, some of your hunger hormones, and causes insulin resistance if you have too much of it. And I can't remember the exact mechanism of it, but yeah, having excess adipose tissue does directly correlate to, or does directly affect your insulin resistance. So, like, there's always the chance that you could get insulin resistance if you're not, if you don't have excess adipose tissue. But it definitely helps that I'm a thin guy and I do stay fit and stuff like that. Mm. These store-bought cookies, they are not too bad, but right before this stream, I put some cookies in the oven, so I'm gonna grab those. I'll be back in just like 2 seconds. Oh yeah! Some fresh homemade cookies. Oh man, I swear you cannot beat a fresh homemade cookie, nice and warm. Oh, it's so good. See, it's still gooey, it's still all melty on the inside. Oh man, that is so delicious. I mean, it tastes like eating a hug. JG, you say, well, yeah, I discovered your channel. I like watching you. Watching me eat, but not in a weird way. Thanks, man. Thanks, bro. Fabian, you ask what I eat on a daily basis. I don't have a daily routine. I mean, it's always different. Sometimes I don't eat much. Sometimes I eat a whole ton. It's... I just try not to eat too much junk and try to stick to real foods that are healthy and stuff like that. So I don't have a daily routine. I can't say what I do on a daily basis. Mm. Back to JG, you say the pancreas, I think. The pancreas is the organ that makes insulin, but if you're worried about diabetes from eating too much, that's not an insufficiency of the pancreas. Type 1 diabetes is caused by an autoimmune condition which attacks your pancreas and thus prevents it from making insulin. But yeah, if you're talking about getting diabetes from eating too much, that's type 2 diabetes. That's when you get insulin resistance, where your insulin receptors get worn out, and you have too much circulating insulin, stuff like that. AJAT, say your favorite cookie is called a Christmas Swiss cookie. Hey, that sounds pretty dang good. My mom makes them every Christmas. The key ingredient is crushed almonds, orange, lemon, and honey. Oh my goodness, that sounds amazing. Oh my goodness. There's a certain type of almond cookie. I cannot think of the name of it off the top of my head now. But, yeah, I mean, that sounds absolutely delicious, man. With lemon and orange in there, I could imagine it would be great for the holidays. Igloo Dude, you're asking how my run was today. That was great this morning. I did go for a run. It was about 8 miles. Since I'm not preparing for any races, one of the ways that I keep myself motivated is to look up on Strava, see if there are any segments in my area. And I was able to capture a course record on one of the local Strava segments, which was excruciating. Oh. It's very good. It was a segment that I tried to snag a couple of days ago, but I missed it. The course record was 154, I think, and I ran 156. I wasn't quite able to get it, so I went back and tried again today, and I managed to go 152. And running fast is just so excruciatingly painful, guys. It's the worst. It hurts so much. No matter how much air you're trying to cycle through your lungs, you just feel like you're drowning. It's so bad. I love the texture on these. I think if I was going to do them again, I would probably use a milk chocolate chip instead of a dark chocolate chip. The dark chocolate's a little bit too bitter for my taste, but man, that perfect texture, nice and crispy. You can probably hear me chew this. Nice texture, nice and soft on the inside still though. I love it. Oh my goodness, Nathaniel Cooper, you asked if I've ever had a black walnut pie. I have made a walnut pie before. I don't know if it was a black walnut pie though. They're quite strange. I think I prefer a typical like conventional pecan pie, but they're still pretty good. JG saying you like your cookies doughy. I think that's absolutely perfect. I love them just slightly undercooked. Yeah, like I think I put these in maybe a minute too long, so they're a little bit more cooked than I would have liked. But if you do make them undercooked like that, you got to eat them like right away. Nathaniel with the philosophical question of the century. Do you like your cookies chewy or crunchy? I like them both, man. I'm going to say yes to those. Do I like them chewy or crunchy? Yes and yes. I like my cookies. Let's see here. But you say you like chewy or soft? Oh man, I mean, it's really good either way, I got to say. AJAT, so you jog every morning. Rocky inspired. About 4 miles. Cool, man. Excellent. Good for you. What really made me go up from 230 pounds to 184 was a portion-controlled diet and avoiding having too much sugar and carbohydrate. Well, that's excellent, man. Good for you. That's a heck of a change. Yeah, I think there are different diets out there for everyone, but like a simple portion control diet where you're like, I don't know, like I've heard the if it fits your macros kind of diet and calorie counting and tracking. Pardon me. It doesn't really work for everyone, but I can definitely see the appeal of it. How like if you look at a piece of food and you have that extra step of saying like, okay, I need to write down what all is in this food. It really does make you think twice about a lot of the stuff that you're eating. So you eat a little bit less habitually. So good for you, man. That's a heck of an accomplishment. Yeah, I've heard that a lot of folks tune into streams like this and watch videos like mine. Other mukbang videos out there and competitive eaters as almost like an alternative to eating meals. So if they get hungry between meals and they just tune into YouTube and watch somebody smash like an entire cheesecake or something, and then they feel nice and satisfied and don't feel like eating. I couldn't imagine why. Igloo Dude, you're asking how tall I am? I'm 5'9". I'm a shrimpy little guy. Yeah, I'm not a big dude at all. I weigh like $150, $140, somewhere around there. I'm probably close to 150 or 155 nowadays. Oop. My cookie broke. Man overboard. GJ, you're an attractive man. Just wanted to tell you. Thanks, dude. I know. I'm one handsome dude. Your boy, Chris. Am I saying that right? Your boy, Chris. You're inspiring me to pursue professional eating. Keep it up with the good work. Thanks, man. If you do get into professional eating, good luck. I mean, it's a heck of a sport and a heck of a hard thing to do. It is a lot of fun, though. So if you do become a professional competitive eater, it is definitely a great community to be a part of. I love it. I love it so much. Oh, man, I love these fresh baked homemade cookies. I know I keep on saying it, but it's true. They're so good. K-Zing, another new name that I haven't seen before. Welcome to the stream. I'm always glad to have new folks tuning in. You ask what's on my workout playlist. For the most part, I listen to like podcasts and stuff. But on those times where I really need to crank it out and like really need to crush it, then I'll put on some Tool or some of Maynard James Keenan's other projects. I really like Keenan and the stuff that he makes. So like Tool, Pussifer, A Perfect Circle. Let's see. Also got Blacklight Burns. Yeah, it's mostly like grunge, hard rock, that kind of thing. I find that it really motivates me to keep going. It's the kind of stuff that like an angsty teenager from the 90s would listen to. So, but yeah, I gotta say, the newest Tool album, Fear Inoculum, like, oh my god, it is so amazing. I love that stuff. Basically anything that Keenan puts out, I think is absolute gold. HAT say, your mom makes an all chocolate chip cookie, which contains milk chocolate, semi-sweet chocolate, dark chocolate, and white chocolate chips. Just a little bit of everything. Invite everyone to the party. That's always good. Oh no, that one kind of fell apart on me. Well, I gotta go back to the store-bought cookies. That's it for all the fresh baked ones. Somebody else joining the stream, Flocken Furs. Since you're from Germany, I'm going to assume that I mispronounced that, and it has some really cool European pronunciation. Oh, it's Fleckenfurs. Again, probably mispronounced it. That's all right. You say, cool guy, keep it up. Greetings from Germany. Hey, welcome to the stream. I'm glad that we're going international. Got some folks from across the pond joining in. Always glad to see new folks coming into the stream. Well, we are coming up on just about time for the lunchtime live stream. I'm trying to keep these things down below half an hour because, like I've said before, I am super slammed with work. Oh man, immediately after I turn off this camera, I'm going to hit the compile button on my keyboard and try to get back to building and coding games and stuff like that. Because, when everybody's physically distancing themselves like they are today, it is more important than ever. When I get that chocolate out from the corners of my mouth. I should have brought some napkins. Anyway, like I was saying, it's more important than ever to make sure that you're staying sane, staying healthy out there, and hopefully indulging in some, not physically close activities like playing video games is helping some people out there. So I like to think that in some small way, me making video games is actually making the world a better place, which is a little bit different from how it's been in the past. So as usual, nice to see everyone. I love to see everybody in the chat. Always fun to catch up with you guys. Always fun to talk about whatever's on the front of my mind. Whatever you guys want to talk about. So I hope everybody's staying safe, staying sane. I hope everybody has a wonderful Wednesday, a wonderful hump day. I hope you guys are enjoying the rest of your week. And until next time, peace out. You guys take it easy.